Hello, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Rylionn, and joining me tonight again, a great Matchacore, the man, the myth, the legend, the tatted
Hello,
god
hello, hello,
himself. Look
hello.
at him. God, sexy
I think
beast. I love it. We
we're
have such a good looking crew overall. But yes, I am very excited for tonight's matchup, though. It is a legendary matchup, actually very hyped
so I've
up,
heard.
I would say, overall. Let's go ahead and go over the teams. Let's see. We have on starting the red side tonight, XRising Esports. Top lane is going to be Birds Are Spies. WWWWGGGG is going to be in the jungle. XRes Cappy in the mid lane. Techi Tets in the ADC role, and Lupo Imparat in the support lane. And go ahead and break down for us who is going to be on the other side.
You're gonna have to give me a second here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately the document that I'm giving is no longer loading, so you're gonna have to give me a second here.
Okay. We have on the side of Eggplant, so we have in the top lane, we have Nine Tails Bonobo. We have in the jungle, we have Yo Dag. Have in the mid lane, Laser Sniped. Got you. Mid lane, we have Laser Sniped, and then we have ADC WL Viator. And then we have in the support role a Mustard Cat. We have so many wonderful people so close to my heart and so many great players. I mean, we have the former silver champions here coming in from last split. We have the XRising team. I mean, Birds Are Spies, WG, Cappy, Techi, and Lupo. Like, great names, household names here for Team Gap, one of those in-house teams here that has just proven themselves to be quite a superior like team overall, like very, very top tier, seed one. And on the other side, though, we also have Eggplants, and I have a lot of very former teammates there. I have the wonderful Mustard Cat. She carried me hardcore last split in the Silver League, actually. And I think we lost to XRising Esports, if I'm not mistaken. So this is kind of like a grudge match a little bit. WL Viator, I'm sorry, he was not my teammate. Laser Sniper was my teammate. He was our jungler last season, but he switched to the mid lane, obviously, here. And then Volps, who is the sub for actually Eggplants, was my jungler last season. So shout out to them. And looking at both these teams, though, who are you kind of in favor of at the moment, just from the lore of the teams and what we've seen so far to week one?
So I've gotten to play with some of the people on both teams. Not all of them, but a couple of them, and I'm leaning towards X Rising for this one. I
Okay.
saw some of their games last season. I thought they put up some really good games when they did the Silver League. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna go with X Rising actually. I know that you got some friends on the other squad as well, but my gut's telling me that we're gonna see some X Rising domination.
Okay. I mean,
As
I can
usual, we
definitely.
hope for a third game as usual. Just
I mean, definitely. Third game is like what we always try to aim for. If I would like to see a 2-0, I am going to be a little biased here in favor of my teammates. I know they're going to put up a huge fight, X Rising. Do not get me wrong. Like, I know they're going to be amazing. But I definitely am going to give this overall if it does get to a game three. And speaking of, we do have the beginning of the draft started. So let's go ahead and pull that up here real quick. And it looks like the first one's going to be banned out from X Rising is going to be the Jin. So they want to target WL Viator. And I've had the pleasure of actually playing with WL Viator. He is quite the ADC. I mean, they definitely did a good job of like trying to focus his picks. Jin right now, ridiculous.
Jin is
Sejuani,
super
oh
broken right now.
yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about the Sejuani and the Vlad bands here coming out so far?
I think Sejuani, this is going to sound probably against everyone else's ideas, but Sejuani, especially in like the mid to lower elos, is a great ban. Her kit, no matter how high in the tier list she is, shuts down a lane. Especially if you hit level 6, you have that beautiful like QER where you jump and hit your combo, and then whoever you hit basically is frozen for like 25 minutes.
That is very true, extremely true. And we have another ADC ban, Ezreal. I mean, that can also go on Cappy mid lane as well, I guess. But Ezreal, they're focusing down the ADC. They definitely do not want WLVator to have any kind of comfortable picks whatsoever. We have the Volibear and the Vlad, like we said. Let's see who they're going to focus here for the last one. Now, I know coming in from XRising Esports, Cappy has pulled out some amazing, amazing feats. I wish I could pull up like a highlight reel of Cappy's gameplay from last season because definitely playing up against him, amazing, amazing mid laner. And it looks like we have the Jinx as the ban and Caitlyn. So they definitely want to focus Techi is the ADC here. So they definitely want to focus that pick. And Caitlyn, very strong ADC. And following up, WLV8er is following up with the Zeri. How do you feel about Zeri gameplay so far? Have you seen enough of Zeri?
I can tell you that I've been doing a lot of the ADC for a while, and I can tell you that there is not a champion that I play that I'm afraid of her on. I think that she is very, very strong and she can do a lot of things, but honestly, there's just better picks out there.
Okay. I mean, it definitely depends also on who you are matched with support-wise, and I am going to
Absolutely.
give, Mustard Cat the huge benefit of the doubt of her absolutely carrying me for, a straight, like, 4 months. But, Victor's also going to be pulled out here in the mid lane from Laser Snipes, and Victor is a very, very strong champion right now in the mid lane. I have seen nothing
Yeah.
but Victor's played from actually our very own Wookiee Monster. I played with him recently, and he has decimated people with Victor in the mid lane. I do like that.
Victor is
So,
one of those champions that if you're good with, you are really good with.
oh yeah. Ooh, the Morgana though, or Morgana, depending on where you're from, I guess, being picked up. So the Caitlyn Morgana bot lane, I do like that. Going into the spell shield though, knowing that, um, that's not too imperative, I think, except for the Victor stun. And Azir's going to be the follow-up pick for the mid lane here for XRising, so that's what Cappy is going for. I expect to see a lot of plays. The Cupid Shuffle. Yes! Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god, yes. You have literally no idea. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it, but they did not ban out Yuumi in the first 3 picks. Finally, Mustard Cat gets to play her main character, Yuumi, every single time she played with me and got Yuumi. We never lost. Never lost. She is an absolute god on this champion. And I might be overhyping her, and I don't mean to put, any additional pressure on her, but seriously, if you have any channel points right now, I would be dropping them on Eggplant because that's who I'm going with. And it looks like for the 2 final bans, let's go ahead and go over those. Who we got so far?
Looks like we have a Mumu and Tryndamere coming in from
Hey.
Mumu from XRising, Trin from Eggplant. I think I see like the style of the jungler that's being banned right now with the
Right.
Amumu and the Sejuani. Like this jungler definitely likes to play the CC route. He likes to set up kills. These are champions that you don't necessarily need to have kills on, and you can freely give them up, as opposed to someone like a Nocturne or a Kha'Zix, where like they need to get the kills to scale.
Absolutely. No, understandable. And, also incoming for the bans is the Scion and the J4. So these really deep engage
Uh,
heavy jungle
yeah.
champions, like we said, the Sejuani being banned out, now the Amumu and the J4. So they really focus the jungle and the ADC on the terms of XRising. Meanwhile, on Eggplant, they had like a variation. You get some mid, you had some top, you had some, jungle, ADC, a little bit of here and there. But the final picks here incoming. So we have jungler. So in the case of Eggplant, yeah, I was right. It's like they're reading my mind. Trundle was. I was like, you need someone who has tank, but you
Yeah.
also need a little bit more damage because Zeri isn't as like DPS heavy as like Kaisa, Vayne, even Caitlyn later on in game as well. As far as I've seen, she's very spell heavy. She relies on her Qs a lot. So we have the Trundle to balance that out. So even if they pick any kind of hyper tanks like Ornn or something like that on the side of XRising, Trundle is going to be a very, very good counter to that. And Hecarim, okay, Pillar's going to be able to stop that. So that's an interesting jungle matchup. And I'm not a very good jungler, as we all know. Uh, but like into a Hecarim and Trundle, I'm going to be in favor of Trundle in that one. How about you?
So with the comp that I'm seeing now, I'm definitely gonna be in favor of the Hecarim. XRising has that from the distance kind of damage coming on, and that right there just sealed it for XRising for me. The Shen to the Hecarim, Jesus.
I mean, also having the Morgana shield, so they have
Yeah.
on shield coming in from the side of XRising. So this is going to be a
Bot lane is
serpent
gonna get
chain.
all in after level 6.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. But I mean, at the same time, like Yumi has some ridiculous heals, like especially with the lower the health they are. Trundle has a ridiculous amount of sustain on his own, so I think he's going to be able to 1v2. And if not, Shen is going to be able to leave lane, or Shen has to leave lane anyways. We don't know if this is a Trundle top. Okay, yes we do. We now know it's going to be Trundle jungle, so it's going to be a Gnar top. So when Shen does ulti in, that's going to leave Gnar to either split push or force to teleport to follow up as well. So that's something
Yeah.
that they're going to have to consider on the side of Eggplant, but
And
I
with the
don't know.
teleport changes, that makes it really difficult to make that teleport to follow Shen when he hits level 6 if it's before the 14-minute mark, because like, you have to teleport to a tower, right? And that's if he
Right.
even takes teleport. I mean, I'm hoping at this point with the Shen pick they would take teleport.
Right.
But I mean, basically the first 15 minutes of the game, bot has to play with their head on a spindle. Like they have to pay attention, because with Hecarim and Shen, once they both hit level 6, bot is the prime target. I promise they're going to get camped.
Oh yeah, I could see that as well. But if Nar's able to go ahead and time the Mega Nar bar like perfectly, that you can definitely stop a lot of things for Shen at level 6 as well. So
Yeah,
I can, or the Trundle can follow up as well, throw a pillar in the middle of his teleport and disrupt it. So there's a lot of things that Shen has to look out for. Now,
agreed.
you know,
And I
I'm
think
not
Shen
saying
ignores his lane basically. Once dude gets to a certain point, you give top
exactly.
lane and you just get the other lanes ahead. Now, what I do see concerning from the Eggplant side though is, when this engage of this 4 versus 2 happens, and it's going to probably 3 or 4 times before it, everybody can kind of adjust to it. You have to expect that. Like, look, that comp means bot lane is going to be a rough lane for a while, right? But it's going to
Right.
be even more rough having that Yumi. It'll be helpful to some degree, but if Yumi, like say Zeri dies and Yumi's attached, Yumi's instantly a dead kill. There's not really an escape route, right? So
Right.
if your ADC dies, you're more than likely giving a double death.
That's if your ADC dies.
You see
And
this? This is your ADC is going to die comp.
I yeah, I mean that's like at level 6 though. I still
Yeah,
don't know enough about Zeri. I do know the movement speed aspect, plus Yumi gives additional movement speed. I mean, there's a lot of things that they could wombo pretty well on the side of
yeah.
Eggplant. Trundle also is going to be really beneficial to those ganks. The only thing is just in lane, like you had stated, the Caitlyn Morgana is just going to be really, really big at poking out. But the sustain coming in from Yumi, I think is going to be better than the poke that Morgana and Caitlyn both possess. You know what I
And
mean?
and I see that. And the other thing that I see is that when we get to like the mid to late game, the
Mhm.
Yumi switching off to like the Gnar is going to be like stupid broken.
Oof. Or even to the Trundle.
Yeah. I think I would be a little more afraid of the Gnar. As we saw with the last game, Gnar was somebody that was picked in every game, and every game showed just about dominance with a Gnar. So I'm always
True.
excited to see Gnar. I am terrible with that champion, but I love Gnar.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. I mean, he is such a cute little dude. I definitely enjoy having him on my team. But if I am the Gnar and you are on my team, I apologize because that's definitely gonna be an L all day long. I mean, that's not happening. I'm sorry.
I just don't play top because that's an L all day long.
Oh, I mean, I'm good with like Teemo top, I think.
Yeah, I can play like Lux top. That's pretty much it.
Lux top. Okay, he's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I
And
don't
I
want to be
played
up
Jin
here.
top a couple times, and that was really fun until I ran into a Darius.
Oof, yeah, that would ruin anyone's day right there. But looking at this, predictions are live, by the way. So go spend your channel points right now on who you think is going to win game number 1 here. We have once again on the side of blue XRising Esports, and on the side of red we have Team Eggplant. In the top lane, once again, it's going to be Birds or Spies with Shen in the top lane. We have WWG is going to be on Hecarim. We have XRes Cappy on the Azir. We have Techi Tech on Caitlyn, and we have Lupul Imperat on Morgana. And then on the side of Eggplant, we have Ninetales Bonobo on Gnar. We have Yodagd on Trundle. We have the WL Evader himself. I'm sorry, no, we have a Laser Sniped. I'm sorry, I almost skipped you over there. Laser Sniped on Victor. WL Aviator on Zeri, and we have Mustard Cat, the lovely Mustard Cat, on Yumi. I cannot express to you how happy I am to see this freaking Yumi. Like, it always gets banned. And if she carries, like I expect her to, because her playstyle is just so like interesting. I love it. It's like she's the one that made me actually like want to have caster supports because I always like really wanted tank supports like
Right.
Alistar, Brahms, Leona's, someone
I mean,
that
Braum
could
and
take a
Leona, who
hit.
is that's what I play, and I love them.
Oh my god. I forgot. I'm doing with you, my friend. If you wanna carry me with Braum all day. I haven't played
All
with the Braum
day.
in so long. I mean, shout out to Grand Theft Auto though. Tarek, best Tarek support NA. I love him. But I do miss me some Braum. If you want to play some Braum.
Yeah, and that's like see things that like I played Yumi for one game and refunded her back. She is not my play style. I am not a passive support. I'm the support that level 2 something's dying. It might be our team, it might be their team, but something's dying.
Okay. I'm not level 1 invade. Like something's dying.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard to
yeah,
do that with Yumi. You can't just like level 2, all right, we're going to kill something. It's like level 2, it's like, all right, let's wait till level 4.
yeah. That's just why I kind of enjoy like especially a Braum. If I have a Braum, we're invading all day long.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Actually
like
with
that.
Braum, I just sit there and do the emotes all game and that's how we win.
Because they jump into you and then you auto attack them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Like
it's just
actually I'm
like,
pretty
oh.
sure Braum's flexes, like when he flexes, I'm pretty sure that does damage too.
Ah, okay. That is true. The secrets of legal it does 1 damage per flex. Just so you all know. But yeah, I for this game, once again, I personally think it's going to be going to the side of Eggplants. I definitely just like their team setup. I like the players overall. I know what they are capable of. I know what XRising's capable of. They proved that last split, by winning. So they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. But I'm still going to go in favor of game one to Eggplant.
And I'm still gonna side with XRising. XRising's comp is basically I overall I think it's a better comp, but it's also a very complicated comp to kind of pull together for it to
True.
do as well as it needs to, right? Because your Shen ults and TPs have to be on point. Hecarim
Yep.
can't waste not getting something on a gank when he goes into lane. The last thing you want is a Hecarim that's far behind.
Yeah, that is very true.
Azir is always kind of like a different situation, right? Because you can have an Azir that doesn't do well but can still control the lane, or you can have an Azir that just straight dominates and roams up and down river, right? And I think he's a
Um,
really well-rounded champion.
Out of
He's,
out of this mid lane, I don't expect to see a whole lot of action. I expect these
mm-mm.
two to be farming a lot because Azir is like a nice safe distance kind of like farming champion. And same thing with Victor. So they have both enough distance away from each other where their abilities can't really mess with one another. Unless Azir decides to step up or unless Victor decides to step up. But that's really going to be the only point in time. And if Azir goes ahead and dashes in, Victor goes ahead and drops his trap. He's going to go ahead and get the slow at least minimum or a stun going to be able to get the I don't know what that shuriken thing is called, but he like hits you within gains a ridiculous
Yeah,
shield, like and then drops the laser on you. I mean, he's going to be getting these procs off like with no problem.
yeah. Victor's one of those champions. When I play mid, I tend to ban because
Yeah.
he gets ridiculous strong. You're like, how did that happen? You have one item.
Right. Well, I mean, go ahead. Let's see what you all think. And Shahi, we have just a couple moments left of the prediction here, but we're going to go ahead and take a little break here before the game starts. We have about 1 minute here. We will see you in just a little bit. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is the beginning of the game number 1 for week number 2. This is going to be Team Eggplant, which is on red side, versus Team XRising Esports, which is on blue side. We have a nice little 3-2 starting off. Not exactly your traditional 5-point. It looks like they might have a little bit of an invade, so no, Trundle's going to go ahead and just put a nice little ward in there to back, make sure that his red is secure. Let's see if they're going to go ahead. Yes, they are going to walk over that. So he does know that WG and that Loophole are both in the top side there. No, they're just going to go ahead and get some vision of their own on the red buff and then back off from there. So, yep. I like that. Ooh, very nice coming in. Mustard Cat. A little bit of poking. She does that. She's very good at doing that. Those are the little things that you just love so much about her, you know?
Gnar is blind walking over here. It's just one of those things you got to be careful too. That trade was not worth it.
Not for shame.
That was just, like, why?
I mean, I'm sorry, not for Ninetales. Yeah, definitely in favor for Shen there, 100%. We have Yodgat and we have Hecarim going ahead and mirroring each other, you know, just on both sides. But, I mean, there's not really... I expect them both to go to top side, but out of these two early game, I think I might side with Hecarim early on. You know, after level 6, I'm going to go with Trundle, though. But early jungle, I believe Hecarim, because his sustain is just a little bit ridiculous, that W.
Yeah, and you know, Trundle does have decent move speed for being able to be agile around the map, but as long as Hecarim is constantly, you know, using the correct pathing and ganking the lanes when he needs to.
Laser snipe, though, stepping up, does get the electrocute procced off, but he is going in ham. And meanwhile, in top lane, we have another fight. Ninetales forced to back. Both mid and top lane getting poked out on opposite sides, though.
Bottom lane also getting poked out a little bit here, which is going to happen when you have a Yuumi, at least for the first couple levels.
Yeah, at least. There we go. Level 2 did go ahead and go to the side of XRising, but they just matched it quite easily. Now they have the heals available, along with that Q poking capability from Mustard Cat.
Yep, and that comes along with the Morganas. You know, when you're playing against a lane, you've got to have respect for the champions you're playing against early on, because you don't know how they're going to react to your exchanges.
Absolutely.
And which you saw with the Gnar top, you saw with the Azir mid, and you saw with the Morgana bottom. Those were all trades that didn't need to happen.
Very true, and some really good reaction time happening from Techi there. Trundle doing what he can. I like the full clear coming in from Hecarim, except for the Krugs there on bot lane. But he is going to go ahead and go after Yodgat. He is slightly ahead with the red and blue buffs, so he is just going to be able to do that. Victor, though, trying to collapse on them. Let's see what happens here in this 2v1 situation. Yodgat on the hunt now. Slow is going to come into effect. The laser's going to hit, but it's not going to be enough. No mana coming in from the side of Laser Sniped, and they are forced to back off. XRes Cappy is going to be joining as well. WG is going to go ahead and do a nice little turnaround. Not much gain from it, just wasting some time. Shen did come out, you know, come down for a follow-up as well, so that's going to allow Ninetales to get a little bit of breathing room, pick up a little bit of farm as well, regain some health, because he was eating it a little bit there from these trades coming in from birds or spies.
And the bad thing, though, is that interaction at the River Scuttle unfortunately made Victor have to use a lot of his mana, and Flash is now down as well.
Yep.
So he was going to have to back anyway due to too much mana usage. It was getting lower. So this is going to be, you know, you didn't have to deal with that Flash, but I think he's going to have to go back now. He's going to lose some CS for that for sure.
Absolutely. And another really good thing that I like that Hecarim and the others were able to accomplish was getting another ward off on that red buff there. And Ninetales hitting the Mega Gnar form, doing a really good job trying to capitalize.
It's so fun to watch Gnar do Gnar things.
It is, but it's really fun to see Shen do Shen things as well. The taunts coming through. Ninetales getting super low. Mega Gnar is almost out, which means Little Gnar has even a littler health than the Mega Gnar does. So littler.
Felt it in his jellies. He knew there was a gank coming, and he pulled back without. I mean, there's some deep vision down there, thankfully, especially having like the Scuttle ward as well. But
I don't know what Ninetales is doing. He is forced to flash away. I don't know why he is here in lane still. The auto is being blocked perfectly by birds or spies, but I don't know why he is messing with fire down there. He does not have a Yuumi attached to him just yet. I know he's trying to stick around for maybe a little bit of experience. He doesn't want to lose too much, but
Well, it's gonna backfire now because the lane is frozen under Shen's tower, and it has been for a minute. It's going to be for a little bit longer, and he had to reset, and he doesn't have flash, so he's gonna go back to a lane that's under his opponent's tower, where it's gonna be frozen.
ooh, yeah, good observation. I don't like that, or that's not a good look for Ninetales.
Yeah, so Shen basically gets to sit here and free farm for as long as he desires. He's in the back now, which is probably the smart choice, considering he's a little bit of a gold lead. Not by much, obviously.
Right. And Gnar, knowing that he was, still at a disadvantage. Oh, Shen actually choosing to teleport here to maintain that frozen wave. I like that dedication. Gnar still choosing not to teleport, though. He walked all the way back. So he is going to be down a little bit more in experience than Shen.
And we, at this point, 6 minutes, we should have had at least one ward on Dragon from each team for those early drag kills.
Getting a big chunk of his health getting taken down by birds or spies there. Shen right now, the Cinder, the taunt, I mean, he is capitalizing great. He also has the Aftershock as well, and it's just, he is doing a phenomenal job just, I mean, even though he's at the range disadvantage, he's still dueling really, really, really well at this point in the game so far.
And then, Red side just picked up Infernal Drake as their first dragon 6 minutes in. As long as they can keep it going, they'll be able to get their soul by like the 25-30 minute mark, which is huge, especially if you're trying to get that early to mid game win. You got to keep wards on that, especially as a jungler and as a support. Your focus needs to be map control.
Absolutely. I mean, getting an early Infernal is going to be a really huge thing for the side of Eggplant. Those taunt landing again onto Ninetales. Another big chunk of damage. I mean, those autos being blocked is just such a killer thing because that's exactly what Gnar relies on only in his little Gnar form. When Mega Gnar's not around, it's not much he could do. But he is choosing not to do anything at the moment. He knows that he is at the wave advantage. It will crash into him finally, so he wants to try to keep that for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think he's played with fire enough with this Shen that he's really got to pay attention now. Shen has shown that he knows how to do the Shen things very well. Also, Shen's early game damage is pretty silly. Like, even when sometimes I play against top, like, I don't like playing against Shens. They hurt.
Right. Yeah, they're one of those, like, I wouldn't say sleeper picks because a lot of people play Shen.
Yeah, I play him as
overall,
support sometimes.
He is a really good support. I do like that. It's almost like playing like a niche like Galio support. You know what I mean?
I love Galio support. That's just fun. It's fun always.
I agree. Yeah, the taunts, the engages. All right, we have Trundle coming into the bot lane. Hecarim going into the mid lane as well. Laser Snipe with absolutely no mana at all. Flash is still on cooldown. One tower hit's going to go through. He had a shield, but doesn't matter. First blood at 8 minutes is going to go on over to WG. And WLVA is fighting off right now. A 2v3 situation. Birds or spies is not able to do much at all. He's going to base in lane. They're going to shot. The taunt going to come through. Your guy is there to follow him as well. There goes the binding. Misses a ride just by a little bit. That damn pillar is going to be such a menace, though. Birds or spies is going to go in. Dax's phone gets the kill onto Yoga. Ridiculous Mustard trying to do what she can. She did hop off WLVator. Double kill on over to Birds or spies. The Brewer's going to come through WLVator. He is going to have the movement speed. Is he able to play? Yes, he is. Double kill on over now to WLVator. Dax's phone.
Oh, that was amazing.
We went from having no kills at 8 minutes to having 6 kills at almost the 9 minute mark. This is like ridiculous. It was a nice slow start. They said, let me just do whatever right now. That was insane. Great job. WG now going to top lane as well. Ninetales taking advantage of the Shen teleport. I mean, the ulti as well. WG is pretty strong right now. This ulti and the stun into the, I'm sorry, Rylionn. So, can he get the last kill? Yes, he can. Ninetales takes down WG. I'm sorry, I lost blood for a second. I couldn't recover from the last fight.
Sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit, and you don't always win. But once the Trundle flashed over the wall from Bush, XRising should have backed out, and that should have been the end of it. I don't know that going back in was the best idea, and turns out that it wasn't. But that coin could have gone either way, knowing when to withdraw from the fight. And then we're gonna see Red basically picking up the second objective up here, which is gonna be an early rift as well, and they'll probably get the scuttle from that.
That was insane. I mean, just when you thought that, like, XRising was just on the advantage, and they did take it. That double kill was nice going on over two Birds or Spies. And WG and Yoga fighting over into the mid lane. But it doesn't matter. Ninetales Bob's hitting Megan off arm just in time to The taunt's going to come through perfectly, but the auto's going to be blocked out. Victor ulti's going to come through. Now it's 3v2 situation. Laser stocked in the middle, forced to flash over the Imperial Divide. It doesn't matter. WG is quick enough. He said, get over here, and down he goes. WG picks up another kill. He is 2-1.
Victor showed up to the wrong party there.
Yeah, and just like that, the gold lead is going to be now back in favor of XRising Esports by about 1.5k. And the Mountain Drag, I believe, is next. I can't really see.
So, Hex Dragon.
Thank you.
Sorry
Hex
about
Dragon. Hex Dragon.
So bot lane's got a good lead right now, but they got to be careful because it doesn't take much from a Morgan Caitlyn to do a shutdown. Plus, we're gonna have Shen ult coming back up soon. And, you know, this is going to be really interesting to see kind of what happens bot with this, because now they are going to be the targets. There's the Hecarim coming in into a Yuumi ult.
He the ghost, so ultimate's going to pop through from Hecarim as well, but it doesn't matter. Yuumi's going to do what Yuumi does. The Mustard Cat is going to go ahead and take that kill. Lupo now on the run. Zeri getting that nice speed boost like we talked about earlier. Hops over the wall and the double kill. Yes, he picks up the double kill. Very nice. And just like that, they're back in it. Ties it up and down goes the Hex Drake. This is going to be the second dragon for the side of Eggplant. They are playing very well around objectives. If that's something that I know about some of these team members here, especially Laser, he loves focusing these objectives. He likes the dragons. He likes the first towers as well. I mean, that's something that they are capitalizing on immensely right now. And just like that, they are back in it. 5-0 right now on WL Viator. I told you, WL, he has gotten MVP quite a bit, you know, in the last time that I played with him, I believe. And I just mean amongst customs, because he wasn't in our league before this. He is just a menace on this, but this is crazy. Such an outstanding play by Eggplant there.
And Eggplant's ADC is going to have to maintain this lead, because even though Gnar did get that kill top on Shen, Shen is still ahead. Hecarim is still ahead of the Trundle minus the 2 dragons. And then mid is just vibing right now. Azir is just chilling. He's not dying. He's not getting a bunch of kills. He's got some assists. His farm's okay. Like, he's just doing, you know, the basics mid, which is really all you need from your mid laner, right? Come down when I get ganked, pay attention to Scuttle, and help with objectives.
Absolutely. And I took a look at the gold difference right now between the two, and even though Shen is 3-1, because Ninetales went ahead and grabbed 2 of those plates, he's only down by about 400 gold right now, actually. 376 gold to be exact. So it's just like, he's not really down by all that much. And now that he has that Sheen, you know, he's able to poke him out, just like we're seeing here in lane. Great job coming in from the side of Ninetales.
And that's one of the things I love about Gnar is, he looks like he's really fun to play, and when I have played him, he's been really fun. But he can pull out some really cool scenarios and flip some really insane fights.
Who, Gnar?
Yeah, especially when you get into like Mega Gnar and then you just walk around clapping cheeks. Like, that is great.
Great, and here we go. WG making his way into the mid lane here, but it doesn't matter. Yogat's going to go ahead and make him back off. There is nothing really going on bot lane, like, objective-wise. We do have Baron coming up in about 6 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, not Baron. Scuttle here. Oh, they are going to pop Shelly here into the mid lane. And let's see if she's going to go ahead and how much gold she's going to pick up. Doesn't matter. Yogat, though, forced to flash. Imperial Divide comes through. And down goes the Caitlyn ulti. Ace ulti. Hecarim does. WG picks with the kill on the Yogat. Misses a taunt in the top lane there. Thank you. Birds are spies getting picked up by... Oh, no, never mind. Bonobo does get his procs off, but it's not enough. Those blocked auto attacks are just killer. I mean, it's like it's worse than a Yasuo wind wall, in my opinion. Like, I hate that thing.
Yeah. And then, you know, now we've hit the 14-minute mark. Plates are gone. Teleports will switch over to the upgraded teleport now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That unleashed teleport does come in clutch. Now we're going to see the big plays coming through. WG is going to go ahead and do a gank onto the top lane there. Tanobo tries to go ahead and ulti. Oh, he does. Go ahead. Remember the flash. Ta is going to come through as well. Yuumi goes ahead and picks up the stun onto Morgana, which does get the kill. Techi Tech onto the run, flashes forward, double kill on over to WL Viator. I told you, man, this bot lane is going to be a menace, and here they are, 7-0 out of the 9 kills on the side of Eggplant.
That is insane. And you know what? And maybe they decided that the bot lane wasn't going to get help anymore, and they started focusing more on like the Shen and stuff like that, and like more the mid top side. I definitely would have focused on the bot lane a lot more going on into that, especially with the champions that I had. But at this point, you just got to kind of fix it.
Absolutely. No, I mean, you're not wrong, but you got to play to your strengths. And right now,
Yeah.
Shen is where you're winning at. So that's where a lot of your attention is going to be focused on. Unfortunately, I mean, knowing what they know now, like the Yuumi ulti is down, there's no flash available on WL. Like they're able to go ahead and try to capitalize on that. But since since they pushed out that tier 1 bot lane tower, now they have the freedom to roam.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, it would be smart to kind of take over mid or top now at this point and just continue that farming path and get some more objective towers. Dragon's coming up right now, so pushing, bots already pushing out mid will give you a little more control with that as well.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't matter how much control you have. A really good placed Hecarim ult with a smite can take away any objective you fought all game for.
That's true, but I mean, the Yuumi ulti, though, stops all of the engage.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
On the side of XRising, though. The Shen teleport, the Shen ulti as well, with the Hecarim ulti. I mean, everything about their team just screams, trap me inside Yuumi's ulti, please.
Yeah. And Yuumi's ulti it's broken and I hate it. Because it can, well-placed one, especially when you're jumping between teammate to teammate, you can disable an entire team you're playing against.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ninetales is doing a lot of combos, jumps over, gets a shutdown onto Birds or Spies. Sorry, I completely underplayed the absolute nasty outplays, just barely staying outside tower the whole time. And here we go, WG's gonna ulti over the wall, but Red Team's still gonna pick up the Dragon. WG now stuck in there with the remainder of Red Team, has no flash, has nothing, and down he goes to WL Viator with his 8th kill of the game. I mean, he is not letting up at all, and I can't blame him.
At some point you have to realize that you can't engage on that champion anymore, right? It doesn't matter if you think you can almost get them. If someone is 8-0, you're not going to almost get them. They're probably going to survive, especially if they have a pocket Yuumi at this point that's also equally as fed.
That's true, but do you focus the ADC or do you focus the support in the banning phase, especially in the first 3?
I still don't think that Yuumi is the ban worth it. I think at this point going forward, maybe we look at our ADC picks and maybe our support picks. Not that Morgana and Caitlyn's a bad pick at all, but what the Zeri is capable of now, and so I definitely would be taking that off the board.
Yeah, I mean, Jhin, Ezreal, and Zeri, those are your 3. Who do you hate the most?
I hate Jin's 4th shot more than anything else in this game.
Agreed. Ezreal ulti is probably one of the most hated things to me for ADC purpose-wise, only because it's global and does a ridiculous amount of damage whether you're AD or AP.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Ezreal. He's super fun. Jhin is just one of those champions that doesn't matter how tank of a tank you are. If you're missing HP, he's probably going to kill you.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you get that nice little Gale Force movement, and then, 4th shot.
Yeah, I mean, you get a built-in smite, so you get to always back up your jungler.
For a certain point, yeah.
Yeah. That 4th shot, basically, it's stronger than a smite, at some point in the game. But Jin's a ban that you should have anyway. If you're not going to play Jhin, ban him.
Yeah. And they definitely did ban him this game, so they did take that from WL Viator. And WL just said, okay, I'll go ahead and play Zeri then. They took out the Jinx themselves. Then they try to capitalize with Caitlyn, thinking, I'm gonna have this ridiculous range. Let me go ahead and win here. They just start getting ganked there by WG, and XRes Cappy is gonna go ahead and try to focus as well, but Cappy's gonna go ahead and take him down. Very nice 3v1 situation.
Yeah, and I would have made it a little different of a situation here. The second, we know that Eggplant's bot lane was going to go mid, right? And so we knew that lane swap was going to happen. It was that point. They took the tower. It was time to switch. I think that instead of the Azir just going bottom, since they knew that this bot lane was coming to the mid, the Hecarim and the Azir should have looped back around and grabbed that mid kill and that shutdown before Azir went to the bot lane.
Ooh. Yep. No,
because you would have had 4-2, and at this point, the Zeri has no fear, right? So if you're gonna catch the Zeri out, it's gonna be an ego catch out, right? You're gonna catch them from being cocky, too arrogant, thinking that they can take on 1 versus 3, mainly because they have a Yuumi and they can. But that's the moment that you catch them stepping, right?
But I think we're seeing right now how calm, cool, and collected a WL Aviator actually is. And oh man, I
Absolutely.
never thought I'd see this, but Ninetales is actually chasing down Birds or Spies, hitting everything right now. The proc's going to go off one more time. Meganard's about to pop off. It is now going to be a 5v1 almost, I think, for Ninetales. Meganard did not go ahead. He flashed over the binding. Very nice, but WG is able to go ahead and cut him down. Is he able to get the Meganard soon?
Oh,
He is not
that was
in
close.
time.
That was
WG
close.
does go ahead and pick him off.
I don't know that Shen ult was a good call, but it's a safe call, so I'm actually okay with it. It's just sad to see that it was just a saving grace.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's also get an assist, a little bit more gold inside Shen's pocket.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of good things from the Hecarim right now, who was kind of quiet early on. He had some ganks, but he wasn't really getting objectives. At this point, Rai, I think that 4th dragon is my sole purpose of existing as a jungler. You do not let them get that.
No, absolutely not, under no circumstance. And I mean, Caitlyn is kind of far away. I mean, Dragon's not up for another 45 seconds, so we do have a little bit of time, which is going to be about who's going to be able to clear vision. Trundle does have that vision ward coming up on from bot side, so if Shen decides to try to cut up through there, they'll be able to at least pinch him, maybe flank him off of the rest of his team, like cut him off. And I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing, because he has no vision on the bot side whatsoever, except for the top of Dragon, which Trundle's going to go ahead and willingly walk into. Lupo also near Baron right now, along with Cappy. Not sure what that's about.
So you got the Victor top, which is going to put the Baron at a 4 versus 5, at least for now. Not that that's a problem, because the Zarya and Yuumi are just dominating right now, but it at least enables XRising to try to get a steal with the outnumbering.
Available.
Yeah, but like when the fight starts, though, it's gonna be that immediate like 4 versus 5, depending on how they get caught out here. Now, the other thing that I'm not seeing is a whole bunch of vision here. Like, it's starting to go down now, but you definitely want to secure vision for Dragon ahead of time and not even give them a chance to get into the
Absolutely.
on either team. It doesn't matter which team. And right here with the Caitlyn traps, this is great. This is gonna stun anybody that comes in there or snare them. And to be honest, Eggplant doesn't need to get this.
Oh, here we go. Nice team fight's gonna go ahead and pop off. Yumi's gonna go and get a nice 2-man stun onto the backline there. XRising and everyone else is getting shredded apart. There's so much fighting. This is the fastest team gap ace I've ever seen in my entire life. WL does fall. Unfortunately, they are gonna be able to pick up 3. Do they turn it around? WG? No, he is not able to go ahead and pick up the remaining 2, but Laser Sniped and Mustard Cap, my 2 comrades from purple side, are the remainder victors in this team fight here. They did manage to get the Cloud Drake, though, overall on the side of XRising, so that is a victory, I would say. And they got a nice, very nice shutdown on WL Aviator.
Yeah, you know, that was, I mean, you lost the kills in there, but I think that's worth, because you get that shutdown, you got a dragon, so they don't have soul now, which is, I think, is important. They might lose this tower here, but honestly, the tower's probably gonna come down eventually anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I would risk it. I mean, she can, clear that pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the wards just weren't deep enough for Eggplant there. They probably could have done a better job with that with better vision. You see, we just got 2 red wards in the pit. And then the one up here on their side, but it doesn't go far enough, right?
No, not enough for the Dragon Pit itself. I mean, I think Victor should have maybe teleported a little bit sooner to be a part of that team fight a little bit quicker, because then I think they would have just cleared it off. It would have been a 5-0, no problem. They could have secured the Dragon, they could have secured the Baron, and then move forward. But it looks like Burger Spy is actually going to get picked off here. Very nice taunt through the wall, though. WG trying to provide some kind of support. XRes Cappy is going to go ahead and stay in the background just in case they try to overstay their welcome. And no, they know not to play that game. They are smarter than that. They're going to go ahead and take their backing. I like the people that play that guerrilla warfare tactics, you know? Like, take your wins and then leave. Like, not enough. I cannot stress that enough. It is so important to do that.
Look, I come from a team that we didn't take our wins and leave. We just constantly fought. And so I appreciate it when you take your wins and you leave, because it's just a better situation. Like, it is fun to see a game that has 100 kills at 30 minutes, but it's also like, you know, we got to do this for like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. Like the mental strain of having to constantly be fighting for 45 minutes, especially in front of people. nonetheless.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
another thing. And it looks like XRising no, they're going to go ahead and poke it. Very nice from the side of Ninetales there. Get a little bit of aggro onto WG. Very nice,
So,
also clearing all the wards. My bad,
yeah.
from the side of Eggplant.
And I enjoy the ward clearing from Eggplant. I think that they've done a decent job about it, especially for the bot lane. The ward control you're starting to see come out a little bit more now, especially for Eggplant. They are starting to be a little more aware of what's going on in the map because their vision is getting better. At this point, I think we just really got to focus down your objectives and stop getting into fights that you don't need to be in.
Yes. Yeah, definitely not dying is a very good component, especially late game. You know, around very important objectives. You know, when the other team has 3 dragons, you know, we're starting to look at like 20, 30, 40-second death timers. You know, maybe we need to start chilling and thinking about the kind of fights that we're going into here.
Yeah.
And let's see if they're going to capitalize. Maybe
and I'm really guilty of ignoring my mini map, and that's basically what happened in the early game here, is just not enough awareness of the mini map. Because if there was more awareness, you would see things like the dragons being stopped, better vision, things like that. And that's hard to have that in the middle of like these games sometimes, is, you know, you get clouded when things like this happen where you're about to get into a team fight, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And Yogat getting a little bit of poke down from Azir, and Laser Snipe running out of mana here into the bot lane, so let's see how long he can keep this push up for.
Shen doesn't afraid.
Teleport. No, yeah, Shen not afraid at all. I think he's just waiting for his opportunity to press that R button. I can hear his finger twitching over the R button like there's no tomorrow.
So we're only down by 4 kills in the game.
Ninetales might be poked out here. Yoget actually in WL Viator is going to go ahead and follow up as well. Very nice. Over the wall itself, WL Viator, the zone is going to pop off from Lupo, but down they go to WL Viator there. Yumi is going to go WL to try double kill. Yoget is looking on the brink of death right now. XR's Cappy is trying to get away, does the shuffle, gets out of there,
Oof.
and Caitlyn runs right into the arms of Laser Snipe. The Imperial Wall's gonna go ahead and go forward, create a nice little barrier, but a 4-for-1 fight for the side of Eggplant, and this is gonna be a free Baron and possibly a Soul as well, and it's gonna be Cloud Soul.
Yeah, that was a dangerous fight. It's also kind of the downside of not having jungle or wards in your own jungle, is you can get caught off like that. Caitlyn blindly face checked that bush with the Victor in there, and Victor was ready and waiting for it. You saw the delayed teleport from Victor early, but he wasn't in a hurry to get into the fight, and I think that was a good decision because he was able to kind of pick off the stragglers afterwards.
I also want to point out they only have 1 set of Grievous Wounds, which is on Morgana.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, never mind. And Hecarim just got a Bramble right now.
Yeah, I think I feel like for at least a Shen, I probably would have picked up at least a Bramble early on, but you got to fight for this dragon right now. You cannot give them Soul and Baron, right?
I don't know if they have a choice.
They don't at this point. I think there's definitely some map presence here that we'd pay attention to, but maybe this Hecarim can pull something out of his hat. I've definitely seen it happen before. Nope.
Nah, he doesn't want to risk it. He doesn't want to get trapped in there again, give him a kill and Soul, you know? Yeah, so that's looking rough, but Eggplant looking very strong right now. They have a commanding 5k gold lead over their counterparts so far, XRising Esports, and you know, this is unbelievable. I mean, this is I called it from the beginning. I said, you know, Eggplants is looking real good. I love their team setup, and I mean, I knew WL Viator was a menace, but I did not anticipate him being like
right. Yeah, I definitely didn't see the skill level of that coming. You know, I do see Zeri in games a lot, and my opinion doesn't change in the fact that there are better ADCs than Zeri. What my opinion does change on is, you know, who's playing the Zeri is definitely a big opinion change. But also the focus on the Zeri, right? How many times do you let Zeri just clap you before you eventually pay attention and kill her?
Right. And I like the Baron utilization right now on the side of Eggplant. Yeah. We have, you know, Gnar going into the top side with the remainder of Team Eggplant going bot lane. And, 9tails. Oh, we have the Gale Force for length. Russian Cat is going to pick up a nice kill. Imperial Divide is not going to go through just yet. WG trying to get to the backline, but Zeri is going to go ahead and kind of like a menace. Dashes forward. Burns her spies, tries to get out. And there goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Tetchy Tetch is there. And 5. Double kill on over to Zeri. A clean team gap ace. And I think this is going to be game number 1. Oh my god. I mean, these are just plays on plays. Eggplant said,
this is
oh,
it. This
you guys
is
are
it.
the
That's
champions?
the Baron. This is done. Yeah. And you know that was a terrible mistake, and it sucks when you're running away and your entire team dies on the disengage.
That, I mean, what a display of just superiority coming in from WLVator and Mustard Cat in the bot lane there. I mean, granted, I know WLVator is a very skilled player, but you wouldn't be alive without your support constantly healing you. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And well, I mean, I don't play healing support, so I don't know what you mean. But no, I do know what you mean. It's I love the comp, right? The comp that XRising had was a beautiful comp.
Oh yeah.
They just didn't execute it the way they needed to. And when they left the Zeri to go, they decided to go do something else, but they weren't collecting objectives. They weren't getting other things going on. So the Zeri just kept getting stronger and stronger, and they put their bot lane on an island against them. The problem with being on an island is you have to be able to do things on other sides of the map.
Yep, that is true. And I mean, Shen was able to hold his own definitely for the most part early game against the Gnar, but that eventually just led to you leaving Gnar. And then Gnar was
Yeah.
able to catch up on farm again. Mega Gnar was no longer an issue. And then during those trades that you were once winning as Shen, you're no longer winning because you're able to go ahead and he has the Sheen now. He's able to pick up the Divine Sunderer. And then he's just getting tankier and tankier, especially when he goes into his Mega Gnar form. Then he's even worse. And he also ran Grasp of the Undying. You ran Aftershock. I know the reasons why you would run Aftershock on Shen because of the capabilities in the team fights, but I think Grasp of the Undying would have been a lot better off for him, especially in the dueling aspect. He could have gotten a lot more kills. 3-1 isn't bad. I'm not saying that at all. But I think Grasp might have been the better move here, especially with the Titanic Hydra being his first item or second.
Yeah. And I think the Titanic Hydra was fine. And Gnar just did what he needed to do. I think the Shen build probably I would have chosen a different order of items. And the other thing is while Shen was pretty mobile on the map, it's the same thing with like that Victor teleport. You have to be a little like more timely with it. And it has to really count because what is it, like 3 minutes or something before the next reset, depending on the level, and you got to use those sparingly, right? And then your teleports, it's not like they come back a minute later. You have to use those correctly.
That is very true.
And if you're teleporting or ulting into a fight that is already over, you're basically wasting your ability or your teleport.
That is very true. And he did capitalize a lot. He did a great job saving his teammates onto the bot lane there. He did a great job, engaging in fights around objectives. It was just they weren't able to pick up any of those objectives. You know, so like he was there and then he would die. And now Gnar has a free top lane that, all right, he didn't die, but he would just be there. He would be able to escape, and then he has to base, and then he has to go and walk back to top lane. Meanwhile, Gnar's just on your tower, getting free plates early before before 14 minutes, and then that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see more of the Shen Hecarim combo. I think we only got to see it like once or twice.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that should have been used more. Like that should have been actually the focus was, all right, every time Hecarim goes bottom, which is like every time you hit that rotation to be there, you have the black shield, and then you have the Shen ult coming in. Like even if you don't get both kills, try to get the Zeri, right? You don't just, I mean, yeah, you got to leave people alone, and you have to like be like, hey man, I need to focus other things, but you got to focus those other things.
I think one of the big reasons why Hecarim wasn't as impactful in the bot lane, the wards definitely, but not only that, but the awareness that WL just carries as a player, knowing like, yes, I'm a very mobile ADC, but I have to get to that mobility point. So I'm not going to push up too far. Meanwhile, Gnar, he's just passively going to be able to push because Shen has to auto attack, and he's just going to be able to hit more minions with his Qs. So he knows that the wave's going to push in. So he knows, all right, let me go ahead and try to at least get my Shen ahead because Gnar has no choice but to be pushed up. Meanwhile, W Aviator can allow his lane to be pushed in because Caitlyn has the advantage with her Qs. Even though I know Zeri has the ability to go ahead and hit all of the minions as well, they were choosing not to.
Yeah, and it's just that game could have gone either way. I expected to see more out of XRising for that game.
Right.
Like with the comp that they had, right? Because that's not a comp that you just kind of want to sit back with. You got to be on top of things.
Right.
But let's see what they do. Let's see what they do in the next one. I'm hoping like I said, maybe at this point you take out the Zeri, maybe. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a big fan of Caitlyn. I'm really not.
No?
Nope.
Not right now, or just in general?
Well, especially right now. This season, I haven't felt really strong with her, and she hasn't felt right. Like I've opted to take more like Ezreal, which got banned. I play a lot of Jhin, but I'm also like really, really on the fence when it comes to like Ashe, because Ashe is one of those champions that
Love
you can
Ashe.
really do some damage in the bot lane.
I love her. You can do a lot of things with Ashe in the bot lane. She is by far my favorite ADC right now. The slows are ridiculous. The stuns are such a Ashe Braum. We're running that at some point in time.
I will run Ashe Braum with you every day.
Every day. Okay, we're
Every
getting flat,
day.
baby. Let's go. Oh. All right, and meanwhile with that, let's go ahead. We're gonna take a little break before game number 2 commences. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. Do not go anywhere. Hello, hello, and welcome back, you wonderful, wonderful people, to game number 2 for tonight's series. It is once again your boy Rylionn, and joining me here is Matchacore. Oof,
Yo.
couldn't ask for a sexier duo except for Wookiee Monster himself. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys are like the beard crew. I have like this thing.
It's the this thing.
Yeah.
But yes, we are here for game number 2. It is going to be once again XRising Esports versus Team Eggplant. And for game number 1, it actually went over to Team Eggplant in a very commanding, outstanding victory. I mean, WL Viator just carried them. He said, hop in the backpack, off we go. And
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah, you know so XRising had it for the first like minute and a half of the game.
I mean, First Blood was at like 8 minutes. It was some kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous, like it was so drawn out. But we also have
they
draft
definitely
number 2
had
underway here as well.
they definitely had the lead early on, but they dropped the ball when it came to that failed gank bottom, where Zeri left that fight 3-0. Like at that point, like, woo! You gotta put that one into the ground. Like you need to old yeller that one and make sure it doesn't come back to bite you later.
Yeah, that's very true. And here we are for draft number 2. For game number 2, we have the Sejuani and the Yuumi bands coming in from XRising Esports. I mean, we definitely called that, before when we were in the intermission there, that Yuumi was definitely going to be going.
Yeah.
And then, oh, sorry.
No, I don't know if I would have banned the Caitlyn. I think I would have stuck to my original bans for the ADC, getting rid of that Jhin. I'm assuming that they're probably going to take a Jhin here. Maybe if they don't, they're giving XRising Jhin.
Well, they did. XRising banned Jin last time, so they didn't.
Yeah.
They banned the Jinx the first time.
Oh,
Eggplant
that's right.
did,
Yeah,
so.
the swap around. Yeah. So even though they got the Zeri gone, I still would not want a Jin on the board. So either way, I would feel comfortable with the Jin being banned in the first ban right now.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And let's see what they pick. I mean, it looks like XRising is trying to focus the ADC as the first pick, so Techi is always going to get what Techi wants
Yeah.
in terms of picks. So they decided to go with the Jinx, the hyper carry. She is really, really strong right now, so I am definitely looking forward to Techi's
Yep.
Jinx. Oh, and to counter that, they went with Vayne. So
Vayne is
Rylionn
like the
Sugar.
scourge of everything that I play as an ADC. She's like that one champion that always has my number, no matter who I am.
Like you always find like a diamond or like master tier Vayne whenever you first.
It could be a silver Vayne. It doesn't matter.
It's just her existence in general.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you're like, "Ha, I've got this Vayne 0 and 4," and then you come back to your lane 2 minutes later, you're like, "How is she 8 and 5?"
Yeah. Yeah, no, good point. I can understand that. And Victor being picked up here by Laser Snipe once again in the mid lane. So we saw his Victor last time. I
Yep.
believe he was 2-1 and like 6 or something like that overall, or 3-1 and 8. I don't know. He was doing really well. So he did a great utilization for the team, and he did pretty well in lane. Trendemir being picked up though by XRising, so they are definitely going for that hardcore.
Yeah, this is an aggressive lane, and they're gonna stick with that. They're gonna, they're still gonna have that global with the Twisted Fate,
Right.
going on XRising again. And my thing is like, you've seen how the global comps work. Is it better to have more than one? Do you think, Rylionn, and just kind of try to combo them?
Absolutely. I mean, that was kind of like our signature move last season. We had the Nocturne ultis. We had TF ultis on top of that as well. I mean, it's really nice. And then
Yeah.
the Malphite being picked up though by Ninetales on the top side. I like that into the trend.
Yep. I love Malphite. It's just a rock that's gonna punch you in the mouth repeatedly.
That's it. And then he builds Bramble early on to counter the Tryndamere hard engage.
Yeah, and he does a
that's
flying
kind of
headbutt to
feeling.
ruin all of your team's hopes of winning.
Yes, sir. And the Nautilus band is going to be first from Eggplant here in round number 2. Don't really want to combine that with the Jinx. That is a good one.
Yeah. Nautilus is, that's a pick to win champion right there.
Ooh. No.
So I'm starting to see that
Vayne.
they're going to start targeting the support, which seems to be a pretty decent decision to do right now after that last game and all of your mad hyping.
Yeah, can't argue with that. I may have put the caster's curse on her or the caster's target. But let's see what they go ahead and try to do. Now, Mustard has a very large variety of picks here, though. So you can't really like trying to ban out Mustard is like trying to ban out like
Right.
Faker. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, and we got the Xin Zhao ban over here. I'm fine with that. I definitely have had games where that has been a thorn in my side.
Jin?
Yeah.
Ooh, and then the Amumu ban is the final one coming in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be real with you. When Amumu got that double Q, I played a lot of him, and I still do. It's so fun. As my friend Dave would always say, he's sad because he can QQ.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's see what the final picks here. Oh, so wow, they're saving Mustard for last. Okay, I like that. They want the Vi. So Vi's always a really good, strong jungle overall. If I ever do get, unfortunately, QQ said, QQ you say? That is hilarious. I love that. I love your name. Your name is absolutely fantastic. Your name is absolutely. But what was I saying? Oh, Vi. If I ever get stuck with jungle, I always go Vi because she is just a very easy, quote unquote easy, but very strong jungle. She's really good at clearing camps early on as well.
Yeah, if I get stuck jungle, I usually just dodge.
That's a blunder for blind jungle though. So I mean, I kind of figured that Hecarim was going to be pulled out again. I mean, he did a really good job on Hecarim last game. I know they didn't get really the ganks that they really wanted to on bot lane. all that much, but still, he was a lot of presence in top. He had a lot of presence all around the map. Jungle
He had
objectives,
presence until it came to the dragon objectives.
that's pretty much it. Yep, and the Rift and the Baron.
Yeah, and the Zeri.
Yeah, and the
So basically, he had control of everything north of mid.
Yay, wolves and on. Wolves,
Yeah, this is
everything
Hecarim's
the
area
wolves
here.
touch,
Stay out of this area, and you'll be fine.
everything you see.
I'm especially when I really like Eggplant's comp. There is a lot of protect the vein there.
That's true.
Yeah, because I mean, with the Malphite, the Vi, the Janna, like even some parts of Victor and Vayne herself, like she has so much peel.
Yep, that is true. I mean, and that's all she really needs is the peel. Janna has those insane shields as well. The knockups coming in. I mean, WL has a certain amount of patience to him that I feel like Vayne and him as a player pretty much are going to go hand in hand. I could see nothing but really good things happening. Not to mention you have Ninetales in the top lane there.
Yeah.
Or Bonobo, whatever you want to call it. What should we call you? You like Bonobo or you like Ninetales?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Bonobo's a fun word, but let's just stick with Ninetales, because I'm just going to say that word repeatedly if we go with the other one.
Well, then
Bonobo.
You call Ninetales, I'll call Bonobo.
That's fine. The same thing with like Desi and Mid King.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's very difficult. It's very difficult once you change your. But this is all his name, Ninetales Bonobo.
So the XRising's comp is the Twisted Fate's kind of a weird pick for this comp. Like it's not terrible, but it's a little out of place. And I get it that they're keeping that global, but honestly, if you're running this comp, just run the Shen back. And then pick over a different mid maybe. But I guess if you wanted to take Tryndamere, that makes the Shen pick a little more difficult.
I don't disagree with you saying that Twisted Fate is like a little bit of an oddball pick. But the only thing I can think of is like when they're talking about it inside their champion selection, right? If I'm inside their lobby, right? I'm closing my eyes, I'm inside their lobby. It's like, all right, pick TF because I know WG does a lot of damage as Hecarim. He's a great Hecarim player. And it's a guaranteed point-and-click stun with his gold card. So, he has infinite mana with the blue, and he has the global ultimate so he can join his jungler in any of the fights. So it's either going to be a 3v2 situation or a 2v1 situation if it's in the top lane. He can be anywhere he wants. Plus, he gets vision.
Yeah, and I fully agree that the utility is amazing. And I'm stoked to see how it works because you always get to see some kind of new plays and things like that every time we have a new game and different comps and stuff like that. But to be honest, I think Eggplant has a much better comp. That comp looks like they're coming to collect your car. Like you owe them money. Like we're gonna dub them the Repo Men because that's what they're going to do.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of like what we thought going into game number 1 as well. Eggplant was like kind of like the underwhelming team fight, like overall, but it ended up being, really, really good overall.
Yeah.
I do like the Vi Malphite lockdown in the back lane.
Yep.
They don't have to stick around. They have Janna for that. So Janna provides enough peel for Vayne. The ultimate, the Qs, the shields, everything about her is just amazing. She has the slows built in. She's just so, and I know Mustard Cat, and I know what she's capable of. She's ridiculous.
And Janna, you can't say enough good things about the Janna support players. I don't play Janna, but I have insane respect for Janna players because they're the people that counter the cheap people that I play, right? So when I see a Janna, I'm like, oh great, there goes half of my champion pool list that I was gonna play.
That's true. I mean, you kind of have to get like a Serpent's Fan. That's like, with Mordekaiser and Malzahar, you have to get a Quicksilver.
Yeah.
You have to. Or you have to have Cleanse. Those are the only options. So, with Janna and the amount of shields that she has and how frequently they are and how strong that they are, you have to get a Serpent's Fan. Like, I would say that's going to be one of the primary targets for Jinx or Tryndamere. I would say they should definitely try to focus that as one of their first 3 items. 100%.
Yeah, and especially after seeing how Eggplant played last game, I think they're gonna execute um, their their comp fairly well, and I think it's gonna be really exciting to see. What I'm hoping is that XRising figures out how to counter against it,
Right.
and we go to game 3.
I I really would like to see a game 3 as well, but I mean they had a very commanding game number 1. So
I agree.
let's see if they're able to just take that momentum and move forward. But one major thing that we always talk about is that mental reset that
Hmm.
just team gap members just seem to have. Like that is a profound, that should be like our mantra. It's just like it's just
We'll
like,
teach you how to mental reset. Come to Team
yeah,
Gap.
mental reset, team gap. Like, it's just they do this amazing thing between games 1 and 2. Like it could be like 21 to like 2.
Yeah.
Just like, a 17-minute absolute just steamroll. And then the next game they just do the same thing back to them like nothing even happened the previous game. Like they just move past it and boom, that's it. Like, and that's
Yeah,
what I
and
kind of hope
it's a
to
lot of
see.
touch and go in the first game when you're playing somebody as well. I did 3 seasons with the gap tournaments and stuff like that,
Right.
and sometimes you can lose that first one and come back and win the next 2. You really have to see like how your teammates are, or the people you're playing against are, how they're what is it, how they're playing and their play style, and you also have to be able to learn how to adapt with it. Because generally, with the play style that'll come with all 3 games, no matter what comp there are, they kind of focus around what makes their team work and tick.
Right.
So if you can figure that out, you can always like shut them down.
That is true. I mean, it's gonna take a lot to like get them ticked though. I see them being like a very just overall very calm, cool, collected team. They've shown out really well in week number 1 and now leading here into week number 2. I mean, they're just doing phenomenal as a team overall. But let's go ahead. We're gonna do a quick little break here before game number 2 begins. We will catch you very soon. Stay with us.
summoners
All right,
rift.
welcome back, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Rylionn and Matcha, of course. So let's go
30
ahead
seconds
and
until
dive
minions
right back
spawn.
into it. All right, so we have like a traditional little calm 5-point start, just like we saw in the beginning of round number 1 here. And let's see if they try to go ahead and get some deep vision, just like they did last game, or not. Would you try to risk it this time if you are if you're XRising?
I think I'm the worst person to ask for that because we engaged every round that we played, and I still do that in ranked. So I'm the
Minions
wrong
have
person to ask. I
spawned.
don't play passive. We hit the gas and we go.
Excellent. All right. Well, I mean, that's exactly how I play as well. All gas, no brakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm about it.
All
I'm about
attacks, no
to,
brains. Yeah, that's me too.
all-
That's why I play champions like Braum and Leona. I was telling Wookie
Hey, there we
earlier that I'm
go.
like the Kool-Aid man. I come through your wall and I take your shit. Sorry.
There we go. I mean, as long as you're just on my team, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, but no, I do
Oh, you
like
thought you were safe? Not today.
Not today. No, no, no. Here I am. And we have
You
the
know what though?
mirror
I have
settings
so
on.
much respect for enchanter support players because I only play like 1 or 2 enchanters, but they just do so much on the map, especially for their laner.
Right. Ooh, that's kind of a but yeah, mid lane, a couple of the minions there. Top lane. missing
Malphite getting
all
a little
3 of
creep
them
blocked up here in the top.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, and you know, Tryndamere is one of those champions I don't like playing against either, because the difference between a silver Tryndamere and like a diamond plus Tryndamere is like insane.
Right. And he's just not only that, but he's just one of those champions, just an RNG god. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
look at that. He just got like 2 crazy auto crits right there, and boom, Malphite's down to like 20% health. That
Yeah,
was
and then
insane.
he has his heal. He's gonna spin on you at level 3.
Yeah, I mean, and look at that. Ninetales is already out of mana. He's been queuing like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, he's done a little bit of work with the comment, but not enough. He's already healed back half his health.
That Hecarim.
Here we go. WG
was a good
has
flash.
and blue buff,
Good
by the way.
flash.
Nice flash. Oh my god. Oh.
You know, he was ready for it this time. The beginning of last game, he just kind of took it.
Right.
I think you're going to be aware that Hecarim is absolutely going to be roaming this game. Now, I think what I'd like to see is Hecarim do a little more counter jungling as well.
Right. Oh, here we go. He's back into the top. No.
Alright, yeah, so at this point, Malphite has to reset. The same thing we saw last time where they made the Gnar reset and then it let the Shen get ahead. But I think Tryndamere getting ahead is a lot more dangerous than the Shen getting ahead for this game.
Definitely. Oh, could not more. And everything's just pretty chill across the rest of the map, though. Pretty much even across farm on all lanes. You know, I expect Vayne to be a little bit more behind, only due to the range deficit, of course. And here we go, WG in the mid lane again. A nice gold card coming through, but the stun coming through Victor as
And coming
well.
to Thresh.
And have, yeah, a roaming Thresh there just randomly in the mid lane. Shows up just in time.
So that was actually really, really good. So Jinx and Thresh came up to grab that scuttle, and Thresh decided to break off and come mid as he saw the Hecarim coming in. That was a great play because that fight could have actually turned on the Hecarim and the Twisted Fate. Thresh being there prevented that from happening.
Absolutely. I mean, we're still sitting at 0 kills, and we're at 4.5 minutes again. So remember, last game we were at about like the 8-minute mark. Beginning at 8 minutes, 0 kills. At the 9-minute mark, there was 6 kills.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. We see a lot of action coming in from both these teams once First Blood is drawn. Oh, and here we go. They're just going to stand there and punch each other in the top lane. Burgess Spies is going to lose that one outright. The RNG God's not with them at this time.
They're just like brawling in the top lane. That just turned into a fist fight for like 4 seconds.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell that was about. Like, they just literally stood there. No moves, no nothing. They just, all right, have at it. Old style duel from like the 1700s.
See, this Malphite, this is this, like, he did it last game too, and granted they won. One of the things he does that's not necessarily really good is he constantly keeps the lane under Tryndamere's. He did it last game too, where he kept it under Shen's tower, which opens him for those ganks. And this one little ward that he has up here in this top bush isn't going to prevent you from dying from Hecarim.
Right.
especially when you're this far up. By the time Hecarim hits that bush, you have like a split second before he claps you.
Yeah, and I mean, until Tryndamere level 6, you can kind of bully him
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
this regard. So, like, once level 6 happens, that you got to change that strat.
Yeah, but
Not
now
really-
if you look, Malphite's backing, and Tryndamere is was sitting on a wave and a half. He can sit here until Malphite comes back. He'll probably get another wave out of it before he backs.
XRising picking up their first dragon.
Yeah, Hecarim learned after last game, dragons have to be first priority this game.
You gotta do it. If you're not
Yeah.
picking up dragon, it's gonna be a bad time. But Yoggat, you know, staying steady on the farming lane, farming department as well, and keeping up with Hecarim. Hecarim's just really good at clearing farm camps. So I've seen, not that I know officially like what the clear times are. Or...
Yeah. Mid doesn't seem to be exchanging too much between the two of them, much like last game kind of too. They just kind of sit there and like wave to each other while they farm in the mid game.
Yeah. And I mean, can't really complain about it. Top lane is like the biggest farm difference though.
Top is actually where I see kind of the most action early game, last game, and this game. Those two just like beating each other up.
Yes, they do. Oh, and the Q's gonna pop off, and here comes the undying rage from Tryndamere, and he does get the first blood. Goes on over to WG. Very nice.
Nice.
And he is gonna pick up a few plates as well, maybe 2.
Yeah, this is ooh, this could be 3 plates.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Yoggat Flash Q does pick up the kill on Tryndamere. Excellent. And they do get 3 plates, unfortunately, but still very nice. From Yoggat to at least 1-for-1 that. And yeah, I mean, here we go again. It's a rinse repeat. We definitely see WG focusing more in the top lane. Ninetales constantly pushing in. Except at this time, you know, Malphite's a little bit different than pushing in with Gnar.
Yeah, and the last thing you want in any game, I mean, a fed Vayne is terrifying, but a fed Tryndamere is equally terrifying.
Yeah, I think it's more manageable to have a Tryndamere, like, more manageable to go against a Tryndamere than it is against a Vayne.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, she's a tank destroyer. Like, you have no front line to get through. Like, she goes invisible. It's disgusting. And here we go. Another brawl happening in the top lane there. And yeah, it's another 1-for-1. The RNG gods are in favor of Burger's 5 once again.
Oof. The top lane's like Peter Griffin and the chicken, man. They just constantly just fight each other.
Right. They're just constantly going at it. Laser Snipe drops the ultimate. I don't remember what that thing is called, unfortunately, so I'm going to look at it.
That's called Get Out of My Lane.
Get out of my lane. Yes, we are. 8.5 minutes in. And here we go. Nice tumble coming in from WLVator and Thresh. I like the pick because Thresh is just one of those champions. It's like, okay, really good engage and disengage. So
yeah, I used to play a lot of Thresh, and I really enjoy what he does and like the opportunities he sets.
Forward from Cappy to get the stun onto Laser Snap there. WG goes in, gets a double stun though on XRes and on WG though is trying to escape. Very nice. Trying to kite out. No can do. Does pick up the kill. That empowered Q. The laser with the laser sniped. He laser sniped. It's like an innuendo on his name. I love it. Or just ironic, I guess. I love it. That was such a good gank from both ends. WG and then the return gank coming in from Yoggat. I mean, you cannot ask for anything better.
Yeah, you know, I feel like Vi has shown up to the party late a couple times, but they've managed to make it happen.
Right. Yeah, make the most of the situation. It's like, I know I'm a tad bit late, but I'm here. WLVator's going to go ahead and pop the ultimate. Very nice flashes over the Janet Q. Lupul's going to go ahead and get a nice snare onto Mustard Cat. Plays her forward. The focus still on Techi. Misses the Condemn, unfortunately. Not going to be able to pick up any kills on both sides. 50%. Lots of things being used. The exhaust coming through from Lupul and from Mustard Cat. Flash not being used by Mustard or WL. But Techi did have to use both Sums, Heal, and Flash.
So one of the things you'll notice in the top lane here is the Malphite has to keep backing. And he's falling behind in farm. Luckily, Malphite's R doesn't really care too much about that later on.
Right. And experience. He's only level 6.
Yeah.
Level 8 to 9 now. That is not very good for Ninetales. That might be a hindrance. Like I said, later on in team fights, Fenrir's going to go ahead and start Rift Herald on his own. They do know that, so they're going to try to call it out. But Vi is in no position right now to try to contest this.
Yep. And this is part of the map awareness that they had last game that we're just not seeing this game.
Right, but they're
or at least map control. We'll say map control. Now, since you have two going, you're at least going to stop the Rift, but now you're outnumbered on the Dragon. And Vayne's in the bot lane still kind of far away.
Yeah, I mean, they are doing a good job of getting them off the Dragon, though. The Janaqs are kind of
Absolutely.
a really good disruptor. Not to mention, they were also able to get Tryndamere off of the Rift Herald. So the jungle objectives, they are attempting to go for it. Oh, very nice. Ninetales right now is doing a tremendous job of poking down birds. Able to escape, though. Still has the Undying Rage, so he has to be careful of that. The Unrelenting Force, or Unstoppable Force, I mean, is just not enough. Oh, a nice hook's going to land by Loople. Oh, but the stop comes through. Flashes over the wall. Hecarim's gonna go ahead and ulti over the wall as well. Vi's gonna lock him down though. Loople looking really low. Let's see if they're gonna go ahead and pick him up. Laser snipe, very nice. The ulti's gonna pop off from him as well. Picks up 2 kills. And the Hextech Drake, they're gonna take this with ease. It's gonna be 2 for 0 and a Hextech Drake. Excellent job coming in from the side of Eggplant, and they are going to just creep up a little bit. They're still behind in gold by about 500, but they are ahead in kills overall.
Yeah, and we're tied on dragons now too.
And we're tied on Dragon. Oh! With the Unstoppable Force, snipes him, and then takes the Rift Herald. That was crazy. What was that?
My other thing is, how did you not see that coming?
I mean, he had no vision. His vision was in the tri-bush, so he couldn't see it. Meanwhile, they do have vision inside the Dragon Pit, so he knew exactly where Birds was. He had no time to react, though. That was insane. And he's going to pick up a bunch of gold. Wow, so everything that he...
probably end up getting this tower. Well, maybe not.
No.
Come close. So at least get that last plate. Or not. You won't get that either,
No. I mean, he was looking real good, though, for a hot second.
So
he caught gold, too.
The bot lane, what I'm seeing down here, one of the things is that XRising's bot lane's not doing super great on is they are warding too close and not far enough out. So one of the things you'll notice about Mustard, that's right, her, the support.
Right, correct, on the side of Eggplant.
She does wards further out from where they play, so they have enough time to have vision and respond if Hecarim is coming. Because with the Hecarim, these close wards, and you know, other people like Vi and stuff like that, if they're in that bush, you're dead already.
Oh my god, Yogat just had some amazing damage. Veronet's gonna go ahead and do his ulti as well on Birds of Spies, forced to do the Unstoppable Rage to make him back off.
Yeah, but this is a Vi re-engage.
And he gets the kill! Yogat is just a different being this game.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you should have seen coming. You shouldn't have pushed your luck and tried to get the extra hits off. Like you're 1 in 4 now. Like I get your Tryndamere, but now you're gonna start falling behind.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Great job from Yogat.
And you gotta wonder if this is, you know, still mental issues in the sense of like, you know, being afraid of like what happened from last game happening again this time, tensions rising, things like that. You know, you got to be able to clear your head and step up and get back into the game.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's just kind of a different game though than we saw from last time. ADC had like 75% kill participation and kills just overall.
Yeah.
This time it's going on over mainly to Yogat and onto Laser as well. I mean, they're doing a great job as a team now spreading those kills. And
Twisted Fate just isn't maneuvering as much as he needs to be as effective as he can be.
Right. Ooh. Laser flashes over the Hecarim E again. I mean, this team is just really good at doing that. We've seen that happen at least like 2 or 3 times now.
Right. The man and the chicken again.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, Birds of Spies and Ninetales are just constantly going at it. Oh, Unrelenting Force. The TF ulti comes in. Same thing with WG. Very nice. I mean, a lot of resources used for top lane, and they gain nothing from it at all.
No, and that's like, stop going for low-hanging fruit here. Like, get back in the game. Focus the objectives. and take what you need to. This fight is
Oh
not
my
something you
god,
should be
WG
taking.
turning around, but I don't know if that was the move at all. Laser Snipe getting really low right now. He's at 10. The shields are going to come through. Dives underneath tower. Birds are Snipes. Does get the Undying
Twisted
Force.
Fate with the clutch there.
The flash!
Finally making his
in the wall.
presence known.
Barely gets it.
Hecarim scraped by with the skin of his teeth there. That was nuts.
Absolutely insane. Great
So
turnaround.
that's one of those risk it for the biscuit plays. Like, that could have gone terribly wrong for them, and that's one of those things that's a morale killer, right? You do a risky play and you fail.
Oh, here
Alright,
we
get
go.
the flash from the Thresh here.
I was gonna say, yeah, Yogat. Oof, Mustard Cat, unfortunately taking a W to the face there. And here we go. They said that split pushing Tryndamere, he's just gonna be a menace unless you're just focusing him. Like, you have to have at least 2 members on him at all times. Viator, you with me? Not sure. Alright, but here we go. Lots of action happening around the map here. Starts. Alright, Dragon's going to be up in about 10 seconds, so WG might be catching out Yoga. It's going to be a 3v1 situation. The Suns are going to come through. Does miss the other cross.
This is not the place you want to be dead when the Dragon's spawning.
Definitely not. That is super important for Yoga. It is going to be a Soul Drake coming in, or Ocean Soul, I mean, coming in overall. And the first one going on over, it looks like, to Team XRising. That is a great pick for them. And yeah, I mean, Vayne and Jinx, this is a very underwhelming bot lane action happening. Definitely not nearly as much as we saw coming in from the first game. So I'm not saying that they won't be important at all, because they definitely will, but both sides are definitely just like in slumber right now, waiting.
Yeah, and Vayne, you know, Vayne has that kill ahead, down by about 20 CS.
Right.
But you know, Vayne didn't have to do extra work early on because the jungler, the mid, and Malphite were all kind of doing that for her. So it wasn't like the stress of, I have to carry this game too, right?
Right.
And so Vayne can just sit back and can farm until she feels like she's ready to just go out and seize the day.
Right. Let's just see if they're able to go ahead and make that very nice thresh hook to land, but he tried to engage. Very nice Janna. Tornado coming through. The Everfrost coming through underneath the tower as well to lock him down. The Jinx ulti, the last tower hit. I mean, that had to be at least 4 or 5 tower hits right there.
Yep.
Beautiful coming in. Jinx does pick up the kill overall. WL Viator does have ulti on deck. WG running in, though, at the speed of light. Focuses Mustard Cat because she is squishy. The stun is going to come through as well. TF is there. The ultimate coming through from WG, and they do pick up the double kill. Tetchy, very nice. Ninetales is going to come through from the back line, though. Does get a 2-man knockup. Unfortunately, not enough. Laser Snipe has come through with a little bit of mana. Shuts down. Very good. Slows coming in through WG. Let's see if they can run him down, but no, WG's a little bit too fast. They are able to kite just at the nick of their teeth. That yellow card coming in clutch. And wow, what a fight overall.
Yeah, and Tryndamere was able to pick up Rift at this time as well. So that we might see that second tower fall top.
I mean, that's what Tryndameres do. That's what you want them to do.
That's what they do.
It's what Yoriks do. It's like that. That is what that champion.
Man, Yoriks just want to give you hugs.
Yeah, mouth hugs. Oh man, Yogat does do some serious damage though, and WG going in on Laser Snipe. It's going to be a 2v1 Loophole though. There he is to support. He has no mana to go ahead. He's going to be a free kill, it looks like, and birds are spies.
So, Laser Snipe this game and last game has had some things where he's put himself in positions to get ganks like that. And if you look at the wards down there, XRising has the entire pit and then their side warded. He has that one red ward. That is not enough to be where you're at.
No, not even remotely close. And Thresh actually got the kill there on Laser. That's kind of unfortunate. WG really needed to pick up that one.
And the other thing is you know you want your wards to be in places where you can prevent yourself from dying and your teammates from dying, and being able to, like, you know, counterplay what's going on. You know, having vision of the map dictates what your decision making is going to be. And if your wards are in places where your team's not, then your wards are misplaced. Right?
Oh, here we go. Vi goes ahead, does the unstoppable force. I mean, unrelenting, I'm sorry. And the stuns are just so big, and Jinx Tetchy's able to go ahead and pick and capitalize on that. The lethal tempo coming in clutch right now with those extended rocket range is just ridiculous.
And you
And
know,
now-
the Vi started off really strong, but at this point, the other champions are getting to the point where like they can stop her like mid movement, and so you got to readjust at this point, right?
That is very true. She does have that burst, but after that burst, she does kind of just become like a sitting duck. You know, if no one else is able to follow, and Vayne able to flash underneath her tower into her allies. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better on the side of Tetchy. Great reaction. Oh, wow. Lots of things happening here in game number 2. It looks like we might get our game 3 wish at the rate that this is going. I know it's 11-10, but the goal difference is sitting at about 3.5K, almost 4K right now, in favor of Team XRising.
And XRising had a really, really rough start this game, and they've managed to kind of pull back through.
Oh, Roger Spies kind of getting trapped right now by Yoga.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out for the Tryndamere.
Undying Rage is popped.
I'm lying. I didn't know it was going to work out. He was going to die. I should have been there.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot was going to happen there.
We had the dragon coming back up soon. Having that Tryndamere dead hasn't really been an effect on the dragon because they've been fighting it 4 versus 5 or 4 versus 4. But not having them there means that the Malphite doesn't have to match.
It's the psychological torment that Tryndamere brings to the map overall. That's the reason why I think they're not like fully in these team fights around like Dragon and around.
Dead twist fake.
Oh my god, the flash! Ultimate Unstoppable Force comes in from Ninetales. All 4 of them surround XRes Cappy like a fish on a hook or worm on a hook. Like it's just disgusting. Like, ugh, I love that. So this might be a second Dragon on over to Team Eggplant, but Hecarim is still a part of this. He could get the steal. See what happens.
That's a dead horse.
No, that is a that is a dead horse. That couldn't have said it any better myself.
You know, it's second Drake. Just let it go.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a.
You know, if that was like third or fourth, like we're going into Seoul, I understand making that move, but like your team wasn't there. Don't do that. Like it's cool if you would have got it, but it's not worth dying and not getting it.
Right. No, I definitely agree. It definitely was not worth the risk reward factor was not worth it in this one because you know. It's not their soul. It's only the second one if they do get it. You know, they still have to even get a third one. And here we go. Oh no, he's going to go ahead and get caught out. Again, really nice Condemn to come through. Undying Rage available just one more time. Tries to go ahead and Gale Force out of there, but to no avail. WL is going to pick up his 4th kill. And this is WL coming online again. Slowly but surely. He's just getting those sneaky, like, one kill at a time.
He's playing the slow game right now, which is working out great for him, right? He's stayed CS even for pretty much the majority of the game. And he's taken his fights very strategically in the sense that like he's only gotten involved if he knows he's going to win, right?
Right. And I mean it's a very interesting combo that they have on both sides. I mean the point and click ultis coming in from both Vi and Malphite, like that ultimate, that super lockdown. Like Jinx is not going to be able to escape come late game. If they have to position really well or get a really good pick before a team fight. The later this game goes. XRising does, I mean.
Yeah, and XRising was on a really good like comeback, and they're still kind of there, but they've got to be careful with getting caught out in the way they're getting caught out. It's just same as like last game, right? They had a moment where they could have brought it back, and then they just kept dying and getting caught out, and it got to the point where Eggplant was able to just steamroll them.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. We have a little bit of action. It looks like towards our mid lane, or they might be setting up for Baron here soon. I would genuinely hope so, trying to get as much vision cleared as they possibly can. You know, they have the scuttle up, so it's going to be lingering for a little bit longer. No one really has like a advantage in terms of minions pushing, but Tryndamere is looking to try to do what he can in the bot lane. But Malphite's there to say, no, you shall not pass, and they will not pass.
I mean, Tryndamere has done his job. He's gotten 2 towers top. He grabbed a rift on his own. It'd probably be better if he stopped dying, but it's Tryndamere.
Yeah. 2 and 7. I mean, it would be fine if he was like 2 and 7 and there was an inhib down, and it would be like, okay, that's worth it. But to only get 2 towers down top and 1 tower on bot, like, it's just becoming less and less effective for you to get away from the team overall. Oh, and it looks like WG and the rest of XRising are going to actually start Baron here. They can't answer the Tryndamere, but do they have the capability of burning it that quickly? They definitely don't. They're gonna bounce.
No,
Baron
but
right
now they're gonna give Eggplant maybe.
No,
So I get it that they try to pull all 5 over so that Tryndamere can push, and they're trying to create bait in the
Laser
map.
gonna go ahead and get caught out though. WG trying to focus him as well. Very nice. Janna coming through with the knock up in the tornado. Condemns come through from WL Viator, and he's gonna pick up 1 kill. Flashes Qs, does get the ultimate off on the Cappy. This gold card's gonna come through.
Oof.
Done for just a little bit, and the snipe comes back in through laser snipe. The range on that is unreal. It's gonna be a 2 for 0 and a free Baron. And the teleport comes through. I'm sorry, not the teleport. Ninetales went ahead and back there. Birds are sniped, is not able to 1v1 him at all. He doesn't even have the Bramble yet. It's just, that's what he does.
This Victor is just sniping left and right with that laser.
A laser snipe, that's what he does, baby.
And you know what? They didn't have to give that Baron right there. That was not something that needed to happen, right? You did a faux Baron, push on that, and then you got caught out when they had 5 there, and was like, "Here, enjoy this Baron. It's for you."
Yep. For only $2.95.
And it looks like Ninetales still does have the unstoppable force. And it's ceased and desist is Vi's ultimate, by the way. Thank God I had to look at the name of that because it was
All right, so we got a 3rd dragon coming up here in a second. And what do you think, right? Do you give the dragon? Do you fight for it? Obviously, we've seen at this point that Eggplant is a better team fighter when it comes to being a group, right? They are way better coordinated in their team fights. Do you give this dragon and go for soul, or do you try to take this dragon?
In this circumstance, they have Baron. It's once again not soul point, or like actual soul itself, it's soul point. I would give it up because, you also have 2 dragons, so you can risk it for the biscuit next time. Hopefully they don't have Baron in the next team fight, and that you have a little bit more. She has the Kraken, she has the Rune and Hurricane, and she just needs... An LDR would be perfect in this situation, just like what she's building right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree, giving the dragon, that was definitely the smarter choice, because you get caught at dragon, they have Baron, you'd lose, what you have standing left tower-wise.
Yeah, agreed. Could not agree more. I mean, so, like, who is your MVP right now on the side of on Eggplant? Like, if this game ends and they do win 2-0, who would you be giving your MVP to?
So I really was gonna pick the Vi because she's made some really good plays, but to be honest, I think it's the Vayne. I think it's WL. I think that they've played this game so calm, cool, and collected that they've managed to kind of slip under the radar, right?
Uh-oh. It looks like Tryndamere trying to do a flank from the backline here, but they do have wards available. Very nice hook comes in from WWG. I'm sorry, not from WG, from Loople there, and he tries to get out, but it's to be no avail. They do try to focus down Tryndamere, but he does
probably going to be a dead Victor.
Gold card comes through for laser snipe. WG and the rest of XRising is there, and yes, he goes.
And you got to turn here and hit the Vayne. You cannot focus the Malphite. The Vayne has to die.
Janna might actually have to be the one to focus as well. Those shields and those knockups are unbelievable.
And they were smart. They saw that. They saw that like the Vayne was being, had good like map presence where they were in lane presence, and they weren't going to win that fight with the Malphite being a giant like wall in front of them.
Absolutely. And I mean, if it wasn't for Loople landing that godlike hook right there, Vi would have absolutely been able to escape, and then that fight would have been very, very, very different.
So the Thresh has gotten, the Thresh feels underwhelming, but what I've seen from this Thresh is that he's hit a decent amount of hooks, and the plays that he's made for the most part has ended with a kill, at least for 5 of their combat 6.
Right. I mean, it is a very underwhelming. I mean, both ADCs are 5-1. So, but look at the assist difference. Janna has 8. Thresh has 4. So overall kill participation, Janna has definitely been more present and had more utility overall. But some of the things that Thresh has done with those, with that 1 kill and 4 assists, have been extremely clutch for setting up this team and the 13 kills that they have.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. And even like the hook earlier on the Vi under the second tower, that was huge. He had gotten a hook earlier, I think it was on the Victor, and the Hecarim was able to clean up. That was a clean hook.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, there were quite a few really clean hooks. I mean, we did see a lot of misses as well, but the ones that do land are clutch, 100%.
Yeah, and I feel like, so it's kind of a double-edged sword because you want this game to go longer so that Tryndamere has time to keep split pushing, but the game goes longer and Vayne just turns unkillable.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, Bird Snipes able to Gale Force outside of Laser Snipes stun there, and yeah, that's what we see. Quick Blades, Infinity Edge along with the Gale Force. Like this is
Tryndamere was just like, your place is in the ground.
Yep, automatic, 100% crit. Can't stop those. Damn.
No one cares about your lasers, bro.
Nope. And still no Thornmail coming in from Malphite. That's kind of unreal.
Yeah, I feel like Thornmail is one of those items that kind of overlooked this whole series. Because we didn't see them with it last game either until like the bitter end when Hecarim got one. And
I mean, also once again, there is no Grievous Wounds on the side of XRising.
What? Why?
there is one. They have the Bramble Vest on Hecarim. That's it.
It's Tryndamere over here is just doing a ninja back or not.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Alright, let's see how this plays out.
On the map.
Let's see how this plays out.
Uh-oh, WG and
Alright, this is communication. Thresh comes up. This could be an easy pinch. Thresh delayed there, putting the ward down. I probably would have gone to help the fight instead.
Oh, but he is tanky. He is tanky, boy. Nice turnaround, though, from Ninetales to get a 4-man knockout. Focus now on the Birds Are Spies and
Smite the blue buff. Hecarim, smite the blue buff.
He's going to go into the backline. Shutdown goes on over to WL Viator there, and that is going to be a double kill. No, yes, it is a shutdown. Yeah. Another one goes on over to WL Viator. Double killing over to Malphite. Double killing over to Viator, and a fourth and final dragon on over to Team Eggplant. That was a beautiful, beautiful turnaround from Ninetales.
Did Tryndamere ult there? I don't think he did.
No, we did not. Had no time.
That's not good, giving up kills and soul like that, but that's the way the game goes, unfortunately.
That is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, my friend. And they are making their way on over to Baron. They definitely have plenty of time. I mean, Viator has just a ridiculous amount of DPS at the moment, along with the Vi. Malphite's just kind of there. He's just gonna punch him. But wow, what amazing gameplay!
At this point in the game, like XRising has to make a clear decision on what their goal is going to be, and they have to make sure that what's going on isn't starting to like cripple their morale. This game is still winnable, not heavily, but it's still winnable.
It is winnable. It's really up to the Tryndamere. I mean, they just have enough peel to make sure that Tryndamere is just completely irrelevant. He's not getting to Vayne, and he's not getting to Janna.
Well, when you have,
he might be able to do that is if he flanks.
Yeah, and I think the flanking is absolutely probably the best way to go. But the focus from XRising in those team fights is lacking. They aren't necessarily focusing the right targets. When they get somebody caught out, they focus them the way they're supposed to. But then they struggle when it comes to like getting an engage or being engaged on, as we saw in the fight that happened earlier in the red side's bot side jungle. You know, the Hecarim went one way, the Thresh went the other way on like a hook pull, and then they basically left the Jinx by herself.
Yeah. True. Very, very true. And we have Birds Are Spies once again in the bot lane, just doing his little bush strat. You would think that they would try to check it, but I would not be face checking. You know, especially with the Tryndamere lurking about there. They do have Baron still, so...
I love face checking bushes. It makes the game so much more fun.
Oh, please don't do that. That is horrible advice from Matcha. Matcha's horrible advice for the league. Oh, the flash comes in from Techi, but is it going to be enough? Yes, it's a nice traps underneath the tower as well. Yogat taking a lot of tower hits, but it doesn't matter. Mustard Cat, and there comes a flank from Berger Spies like we talked about. They're going to try to focus. Mustard Cat flashes. Very nice to get out of it. Berger Spies, oh, Unstoppable Force comes in from Ninetales, and he's just going to tank tower like nothing's going wrong at all. Flashes, gets the slow. WG is the next victim. WL Viator. Double kill on over to Laser Sniped, and this is, I think, going to be the beginning of the end, or the end of the end.
I think that the Malphite was just a much better pick. He always is, though, right?
Always. Or most of the time. Laser Snipe, though, he's taking a little bit too much damage, it looks like, but nah, he's going to be
Jinx can do some damage, but we've just seen that they just didn't peel enough for her throughout the game.
Unbelievable. What an unbelievable series. 2-0. Goes on over to Eggplant over XRising Esports. And I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting that at all. I definitely thought this was going to be a game 3. I mean, I knew that Eggplant was going to win that, but I did not think that it was going to be a 2-0.
So, I mean, I'd seen a lot of games from XRising before, and they generally seem like they know what they need to do. But that game, I don't know if they were just like trying new things out, or it's still pretty early in this season. So you can kind of make those mistakes. But when we start hitting like the next couple weeks, those mistakes can't happen anymore.
Agreed. I mean, like you said, first few weeks, get a feel for it, what works, what doesn't work. Take a look at the damage charts right here. I mean, as you can clearly tell, Techi did a lot of damage. I mean, most damage in the game overall. So it wasn't like there was any kind of lack thereof in the bot lane. It's just a lack of follow-up. Lupul tried to do what he could, but just the hooks weren't landing in the ways that they really needed to early on. And then WL Viator was just able to go ahead and get that farm. And then eventually WL is going to do what WL does. So
yeah, and that's the same thing that happened in the first game happened in the second game, and they just didn't focus the carry, which was the ADC, right? Everything else is just a distraction for Vayne to come in and just do you dirty like a rogue from behind.
That's true, but I mean, Yogat though, I cannot underestimate how important Yogat was this game. 4, 4, and 14, 18 out of 25 kill participants.
That's huge.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is absolutely ridiculous. That's like 60 or 70% almost. So, I mean, great job setting up the rest of his team to go ahead and follow up and be as successful as they were, especially in game 2. Game number 1, WO was kind of doing his own thing, not really worrying about like any ganks or anything along that.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more helpful making sure that mid and top lane didn't fall behind in game number 1.
Yeah.
So, Yogat gets my MVP vote.
And I think that the Tryndamere ended up biting them harder than they would have really wished for. That the Tryndamere, by the time we hit the 36-minute mark in that game, 35-minute mark in the game when it ended, he didn't do enough as the Tryndamere is supposed to do, right? He had only cleared the top 2 towers, and he was still working on the bottom side tower. And he wasn't there for team fights either. So not only was he not making objectives happen other than like a rift and some towers, he also wasn't there for team fights either. So his weight wasn't dispersed at all through that entire match.
Right. And I've just been informed that his name is actually Yoda GT.
Yoda GT.
Not Yodgat. Oh, I love some of the pronunciations of the names. It is so funny. Thank you for correcting me.
I think my MVP is probably the ADC from Eggplant.
Oh, okay. So WL Viator.
Yeah, I think that's who it's gonna be for me. And the first game was like a good one to like kind of like way out there, but the play style in the second game that I paid attention to was what was more attracting, because that was a very slow play style, calculated, didn't get involved unless you needed to, and also since the other team didn't worry about you being alive, you were able to just kill everything.
Yeah, that is very true. And as of right now, definitely go to the chat and vote for your MVP that is live right now for the next couple of minutes. Right now, we have a 3-way tie with 4 votes each between Laser Sniped, Viator, and Mustard Cat.
I don't support Yumi.
And then we have Ninetales with 1 and Yoda GT with 1 as well. I mean, I like I said, Yoda definitely has to be my MVP vote, so I did give it to him. And now I kind of Viator pulled ahead, but definitely this. I mean, this was a very surprising series. This definitely mixes up the standings a whole lot. Let me actually go to see what the standings are. Or actually, you know what? We'll not worry about that. Oh, okay. All right. Bandits in Pajamas 2-0'd against Stupid Team Diff. Okay. NA Speedrun and Ventures both got 1 point each. And that is all we have as of right now for the PCL. VCL results yesterday. Was there anything? Okay. We do have one game has not yet been posted, but we will follow up with that in the Team Gap recap next Tuesday. It'll be about 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so definitely check those out. We'll have that every single Tuesday throughout the remainder of the series here. But we have a little bit of time left for the MVP, and it does look like the MVP is going to be Viator. So congratulations. Very nice. Let's go ahead. We'll get him dragged in here, and then we'll give you the interview for the evening. And yeah, all of you wonderful people who voted in will get to hear Viator the God himself.
Hey, let's go.
Well, I'm so excited. But yes, and huge shout out once again, or not once again, but just in general, to Wookie Monster, who is tonight's host, doing a very, very, very fantastic job. Is not an easy task to do, but he definitely killed it the entire evening. I apologize for my mic difficulties. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. And just the man of the hour, Viator himself. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey.
Hey, doing pretty good, gotta say.
Yeah. Okay. How you feeling? 2-0, 2 weeks in. I mean, you got to be feeling good. MVP of the match itself, of your first streamed match. I mean, tell me, like, what's going on through your mind? What's going on with your team's mind right now?
I mean, like, my team, like that second game, it was just everyone did like a phenomenal job. Like we had Nine Tails holding it down in the top lane against that Tryndamere, and then,
Oh yeah.
like the Janna just ulting everyone off, and just all the AOE damage from Victor. Like it just all came together. It felt real good.
Macho, what kind of questions we got right now?
How did it feel being an ADC that nobody focused?
I mean, how could they focus me?
I'm just saying.
Well, like the first game with the Zeri, it's like I'm just so fast with the Yumi.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do? And then Vayne's invisibility with the Janna ult, like,
Yeah, well, they didn't actually even try to engage on you that much either, which is crazy because like if I see a Vayne, like that Vayne needs to die on site every second that I see her because Vayne's, can 1 versus 9.
yeah.
And
That was
how
some
did you-
crazy stuff though. I'm trying to think back to it right now. There was one play that stood out in my mind. It was in the top side jungle, or sorry, the bottom side jungle on your guys' side. The Hecarim ulted you, and you rolled out of the way and speared him into the wall.
hmm
And it was so beautifully done. Like it was almost like you guys had practiced it like for 3 or 4 hours before it happened. Like
Uh,
the Hecarim was even in on the practice where he was like, "Here, I'm gonna charge at you. Knock me into this wall real quick."
yeah. I mean, like, I play a lot of Vayne in solo queue. Like, I play a lot of all these ADCs in solo queue, but the one is always any assassin or someone trying to jump on you, the ult roll away and then condemn them into that wall behind you. So
Yeah.
if it looks like I practiced, it's because I probably did tons of times.
Right. That was an insane showing. I do like the Zeri play. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I definitely respect her as a champion, especially with that Yumi. It's just silly. And if Riot's listening, please delete the champion.
Hey,
No, don't you dare.
I'll
Don't
be
you dare.
honest, like I don't love playing her either, but she's so strong. She's
She
way too
is.
fast. Her ult should not just keep going if you have that if you have like autos landing. Like with lethal tempo when you have that extended range on the Q, like it's too much. So yeah,
Right.
I think she needs a nerf, but
So
play her while
what
she's
I
there.
would like to hear is a shout out to your support from you for
Oh,
carrying you through those games.
100%. Like yeah, Zeri's good and all, but like if I didn't have Mustard on my back, like with the Yumi, like because Yumi with the shield plus the like zoomies on me, like makes me so fast. And then at the end of that game, she had a really clutch ult. Um, I forget exactly. It was in the bot lane when we were running it into them, but
Yeah.
yeah, we got that catch like with her ult. It was very good.
Nice. So who else do you dominate with? So you said Vayne, you have Zeri. Who's like a Trump ADC that like you just people don't expect you to play and you just crush with?
Uh, I don't know. I kind of mix it up a lot. It's funny because every time we get into a game, uh, people ban whatever I was playing last. So this time it was the Jin in that first game because I think I had 2 8-0 games in solo queue,
Yeah.
but like before that I probably hadn't played Jin all that much. So it's kind of rotates a lot.
And he's mad strong right now. And I was saying earlier to Rylionn, like if you don't pick and play Jin, you definitely need to ban him because he can do some crazy damage to people and you don't even see it coming. Like you could be like, I have half HP, and then you run into a Jin and you're like, I have 1 HP.
Yeah, Jin with that the Gale Force in
Yeah.
is a menace.
I would have really liked to see some Tristana plays. I haven't seen any so far this season, and it makes me sad. So I'm hoping that as a request from me, we see a Tristana play soon.
It was funny because that was one of the things we had been thinking about earlier this week. Like she's so dangerous though, jumping in
Yeah.
like it's yeah
The insta pick of a Tristana means that that game is more than likely going to be a clown fiesta.
yeah for
Oh.
sure.
All right, that's all I got. What do you got, Mr. Rylionn?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, definitely. How did it feel playing with like one of the best ADC or one of the best supports, in North America, right
One
there?
of,
Because
one of,
one
one
of
of.
she is definitely like just a great support, and I'm kind of sad that she didn't get MVP, or at least the both of you didn't get MVP because you both did immaculate. I mean, game
Yeah.
number one, you had like 70 or 80% kill participation. Stupid team diff right
Yeah.
there in terms of your in terms of your team, but no, overall, just who's like the main shot caller? Because I know Yodgat was everywhere game number two. I
Dude,
mean,
he was.
his
And
all
I
over the
felt
place.
bad. I felt bad. He's the only name I didn't say when I was
Oh,
calling
Yoda
out what
GT.
people
I'm
did in that
sorry,
last
Yoda
game.
GT.
Uh, but yeah, like like on that Vi, he's like just so good at the go in. Like that last fight, I said this Jinx is probably alone, and like we just went for it, and like he ended up diving that last tower, and I went with him. But like yeah, he's got that go button. He'll catch who he needs to.
He was all over the place. I mean, Yoda just, I mean, immaculate, like I said, game number two. Didn't do bad game number one, but the Vi definitely picked up there in game number two. And, just overall, I mean, you guys have tremendous chemistry. I mean, it's like you guys have been playing together for years before this, this split. And I'm excited to see how far you guys get. And I am 100% rooting for you guys overall. I think you guys are low-key my favorite team so far of the split. I'm just gonna say that on stream right now in front of everybody, so you guys will always have my vote.
Cool.
All
I
right. Well,
I'm very happy with some of what I saw. So that was an amazing job to you and your team. And since supports don't really get as much love when it comes to that as somebody that was the previous support champion, I'm going to give all love to Mustard Cat and say in my heart, you're my MVP. I still hate Yumi though.
And honestly, as an ex top lane main, Ninetales needs some love too, because like
Yeah.
yeah, he's just sitting there tanking damage, but yeah, it's a it's an underappreciated thing playing the tank.
that's true. True. He did do a great job though, taking a lot of damage, just soaking up all that Tryndamere as much as he could. But overall, great job, great victory again, once and for all. I believe we that is the final game for this week, if I'm not mistaken. So there's going to be nothing else for the remainder of this week. But any last words, anything you want to say, Matcha or Viator, to your audience?
Go ahead,
Um,
Vieta. You're the MVP here, my sir.
I'm trying to get like 1 death a game because I had 0 deaths a game last week, 1 death each game this week, so I'm trying to keep it at 1 from now on.
Good goal. It's a good goal to have. Yeah, no one wants a 9-death ADC.
Well, hey, are you calling me out? What's going on?
No, I mean if the shoe fits, Cinderella.
No. But yes, but thank you so much, everyone who tuned in for tonight's match. Once again, the victors are Team Eggplant. 2-0 victory. Great job once again. We will be doing the Team Gap recap once Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will catch you then. Peace out, everybody.
Love.